Hello, old buddies. I want you to imagine this situation. You've left behind the familiar, crossed borders, and stepped into a new chapter of your life, a country you thought would be your haven. But reality hits hard, and suddenly you're questioning your decision. In 2024, some adventurous souls took the leap, hoping for a fresh start, but ended up regretting their decision. Today, I have compiled a list of top 10 countries that people wish they hadn't moved to. Buckle up, because number 3 and number 1 are going to leave you stunned. On number 10, we have Canada. Now, this might come as a surprise to many, since Canada is often seen as a desirable destination with its stunning landscapes, friendly people, and high quality of life. But for some Americans and retirees from other countries, the reality of living in Canada isn't quite what they imagined. Firstly, the high cost of living in major Canadian cities like Toronto, Vancouver, and even smaller cities can be quite a shock. Housing prices are significantly higher compared to many parts of the United States, and this can quickly eat into a retiree's fixed income. Even everyday expenses, such as groceries and utilities, tend to be more expensive, which can put a strain on one's budget. Another major issue is the immigration process. Many people underestimate the complexities involved in moving to Canada. The paperwork can be overwhelming, and the process can take a long time. This can be especially stressful for retirees who are looking for a smooth transition to their new home. There are also strict requirements and regulations that must be met, which can sometimes be a hurdle for those not fully prepared. Then there's the weather. While Canada's winters are famously harsh, many newcomers find the reality of enduring months of extreme cold, snow, and ice much harder than they anticipated. The winter season can be particularly challenging for retirees who may have health issues or who simply aren't used to such conditions. The long, dark winter months can also lead to feelings of isolation and seasonal depression, which can make the overall experience less enjoyable. Additionally, while Canada is known for its friendly and polite culture, integrating into the community can sometimes be more difficult than expected. There might be cultural differences and a slower pace of making new friends, especially in smaller towns where tight-knit communities might not be as welcoming to newcomers. On number 9, we have the United Kingdom. This might seem unexpected given its rich history, vibrant culture, and close ties to the United States. But for many American retirees and expats, the UK presents a series of challenges that can lead to regret. First off, the weather is a common complaint. The UK is known for its damp, rainy, and often cold climate. For those who are used to sunnier and warmer environments, the persistent grey skies can be quite a downer. The lack of sunlight and frequent rain can also lead to seasonal affective disorder SAD, affecting overall mood and well-being, especially during the long winter months. While the cost of living is another significant issue. Cities like London, in particular, have extremely high living expenses. Housing costs are through the roof, and even basic necessities like groceries and utilities can be pricier than in many parts of the US. Retirees on a fixed income may find their money doesn't stretch as far as they had hoped, leading to financial stress. Work-life balance, or rather the lack of it, is also a notable point of discontent, particularly for those who aren't fully retired and still work part-time. The fast-paced work culture, especially in major cities, can be overwhelming. Many expats find that the high-pressure environment leaves little time for relaxation and enjoying the leisure activities they move for. However, healthcare is a mixed bag. While the UK's National Health Service provides free healthcare at the point of use, accessing timely and specialised care can be a challenge due to long waiting times. This can be particularly concerning for retirees who may need more frequent medical attention. Integration into the local community can also be a hurdle. The British can be reserved, and breaking into social circles can take time and effort. This can lead to feelings of isolation and loneliness, particularly in smaller towns where communities are more tight-knit and are less open to newcomers. On number 8, we have Brazil. Known for its vibrant culture, beautiful beaches, and lively festivals, Brazil seems like an enticing destination. However, many American retirees and expats find the reality of living in Brazil far different from their expectations. In addition, one of the primary concerns is safety. Brazil, particularly its urban areas, has a high crime rate. Issues like theft, muggings, and even more serious crimes are not uncommon, especially in major cities like Rio de Janeiro and Sao Paulo. This constant worry about personal safety can be particularly stressful for retirees who are looking for a peaceful and secure environment. Similarly, the language barrier can also pose significant challenges. While Portuguese is the official language, many Americans moving to Brazil underestimate how crucial it is to learn it. The communication difficulties can lead to feelings of isolation and frustration, especially when trying to navigate everyday tasks like shopping, accessing healthcare, or dealing with local bureaucracy. Further, economic instability is another major issue. Brazil has experienced significant economic fluctuations, which can affect the cost of living and the value of savings and pensions for retirees. The unpredictable economy can make it difficult to budget and plan long-term, leading to financial stress. Healthcare in Brazil can be hit or miss. While there are excellent private healthcare options available, they can be quite expensive. Public healthcare, on the other hand, often suffers from long wait times and inconsistent quality. For retirees who might need regular medical care, this can be a significant concern. Cultural differences can also impact the expat experience. Brazil's lively and outgoing culture is wonderful, but it can also be overwhelming for those not accustomed to it. Adapting to different social norms and a more relaxed attitude towards time and schedules can take some getting used to, and not everyone finds the transition easy. On number 7, we have France. While the allure of Parisian streets, world-renowned cuisine, and picturesque countryside is undeniable, many American retirees and expats find themselves facing unexpected challenges in France. Additionally, a significant issue is the difficulty in integrating with the local population. The French can be quite reserved and may take time to warm up to newcomers. This can make it hard for expats to build a social network, leading to feelings of loneliness and isolation. This is especially true in urban areas where the pace of life is fast, and people may not have as much time for socializing. Another common complaint is the perceived lack of hospitality. While France is famous for its charm and elegance, some expats feel that the politeness is more of a facade. In places like Paris, which has a reputation for being less friendly to tourists, this can translate into a less welcoming environment for those trying to settle down long-term. On the other hand, language barriers also play a significant role in the challenges faced by retirees. While many French people speak some English, proficiency can vary widely, especially outside major cities. This makes it essential for expats to learn French to navigate everyday life effectively. For retirees, this can be a daunting task and a significant source of frustration. The French bureaucracy is another hurdle. The administrative processes in France are notoriously slow and complex. Whether it's dealing with residency permits, healthcare registration, or banking, the paperwork can be overwhelming. For those not familiar with the system, this can lead to significant stress and delays in settling down. Cultural differences extend beyond just social interactions. The French work-life balance is quite different, with a strong emphasis on leisure time and shorter work weeks. While this might sound appealing, it can be an adjustment for those used to the American way of life, where convenience and efficiency often take precedence. This slower pace can sometimes be perceived as inefficiency, adding to the frustrations. On number 6, we have China. Moving to China can seem like an adventure with its rich history, unique culture, and rapid modernization, but many American retirees and expats find it challenging for several reasons. One of the biggest hurdles is the language barrier. Mandarin Chinese is a complex language, and while younger generations and those in larger cities might speak some English, it's not widespread. This makes everyday communication difficult, from shopping and dining out to navigating public transportation and accessing healthcare. For retirees who may not be inclined to learn a new language at this stage in life, this can be a significant source of frustration and isolation. Cultural differences are another major challenge. The cultural norms in China can be quite different from those in the United States. For instance, concepts of personal space, queuing, and social interactions can vary greatly. The high population density in cities means that crowded spaces are the norm, which can be overwhelming. Additionally, the collectivist nature of Chinese society can be difficult for those accustomed to the more individualistic approach in the US. Likewise, work-related pressures in the fast-paced environment in cities like Beijing and Shanghai can also be stressful. Even if retirees are not working, the overall atmosphere can be intense and exhausting. For those who are still working part-time or consulting, the high expectations and long hours common in Chinese work culture can be a significant adjustment. Healthcare, while advanced in many respects, can present challenges as well. The public healthcare system can have long wait times, and there might be language barriers and differences in medical practices. While private healthcare is available and often of high quality, it can be expensive and not always covered by international health insurance plans. Further, pollution and environmental issues are also a concern. Air quality in many Chinese cities can be poor, which is particularly problematic for retirees with respiratory issues or other health concerns. This can affect overall quality of life and make outdoor activities less enjoyable. Lastly, navigating the internet and accessing information can be challenging due to government restrictions and censorship. Many popular websites and social media platforms like Google, Facebook, and YouTube are blocked, and while there are workarounds, they add an extra layer of complexity to daily life. Before we continue to our list, I want you to hit that subscribe button and let's aim for 200 more subscribers. If we reach that goal, I will make a video on the topic Top 10 countries where retirees happily want to live or retire in 2024. On number 5, we have Japan. Known for its rich culture, advanced technology, and beautiful landscapes, Japan is an attractive destination for many. However, for American retirees and expats, living in Japan can come with a unique set of challenges that often lead to regret. In addition, one of the main issues is the work-life balance, or rather, the lack of it. Japan is known for its demanding work culture, where long hours and dedication to one's job are deeply ingrained. Even for retirees who are not working, The general societal expectation of hard work and efficiency can create a stressful environment. This intense pace can be overwhelming and leaves little room for the leisurely lifestyle many retirees seek. Another significant challenge is the language barrier. While younger generations in Japan may speak some English, particularly in larger cities, the overall proficiency is not high. This makes daily interactions, such as shopping, dining, and using public services, quite challenging. For retirees who might not be as inclined to learn a new language, this can lead to feelings of isolation and frustration. Similarly, cultural differences are also prominent. Japan has a unique set of social norms and etiquettes that can be quite different from what Americans are used to. For example, the Japanese value of harmony and avoiding confrontation can make direct communication difficult. Additionally, practices like bowing, using honorifics, and other forms of polite behavior require adjustment and can be daunting to newcomers. The healthcare system, while advanced and efficient, can present difficulties due to language barriers and different medical practices. While Japan offers excellent healthcare services, navigating the system can be complex, especially for those who do not speak Japanese. This can be particularly concerning for retirees who may require more frequent medical attention. Also, public smoking and the use of squat toilets are other sources of discomfort. Despite regulations, smoking in restaurants and other public areas is still prevalent in some places, which can be unpleasant and unhealthy for those not accustomed to it. Additionally, traditional Japanese squat toilets can be challenging for older individuals who may have mobility issues. Lastly, the cost of living in Japan, particularly in cities like Tokyo, can be quite high. Housing, transportation, and everyday expenses can add up quickly, putting a strain on retirees living on a fixed income. On number 4, we have Italy. The allure of Italy's rich history, stunning landscapes, and world-renowned cuisine draws many retirees and expats. However, living in Italy can come with unexpected challenges that often lead to regret. One major issue is the bureaucratic red tape. Italian bureaucracy is notoriously slow and complex. Obtaining residency permits, setting up utilities, and navigating the healthcare system can be time-consuming and frustrating. The inefficiency and paperwork involved can be overwhelming, especially for those used to more streamlined systems. The language barrier is another significant challenge. While English is spoken in tourist areas and by younger Italians, it is not widely spoken in smaller towns and rural areas. This can make daily interactions, such as shopping, dining, and accessing services, difficult for those who do not speak Italian. Learning the language is essential, but it can be a daunting task for retirees. Economic instability and the high cost of living, particularly in major cities like Rome and Milan, can also be problematic. Italy has faced economic challenges in recent years, which can impact job opportunities and the cost of living. Retirees living on a fixed income might find it difficult to manage their finances, especially with fluctuating exchange rates. Healthcare, while generally of good quality, can present issues as well. Public healthcare in Italy is accessible, but it can involve long wait times and varying levels of service quality, depending on the region. Private healthcare is available, but it can be expensive. Navigating the healthcare system, especially without proficiency in Italian, can be challenging for retirees who may require regular medical attention. Cultural differences can also impact the experience of living in Italy. The Italian way of life, with its emphasis on family social interactions and a slower pace, can be both a blessing and a curse. While some retirees enjoy the relaxed lifestyle, others may find it difficult to adjust, particularly if they are used to a more fast-paced environment. Additionally, integrating into local communities can be challenging due to tight-knit social circles and regional differences in culture and traditions. Finally, Italy's infrastructure, particularly in terms of public transportation and utilities, can be unreliable in some areas. Frequent strikes, delayed trains, and issues with electricity and water supply can be frustrating and disruptive to daily life. On number 3, we have Mexico. Now, Mexico might seem like a dream destination with its warm climate, vibrant culture, and affordable cost of living. But many retirees and expats, especially from the US, find themselves facing some unexpected challenges that can turn their dream into a bit of a nightmare. Firstly, crime is a significant concern in Mexico. While some areas are safe and peaceful, others, especially in border towns and major cities, have high crime rates. Petty theft, pickpocketing, and even more serious crimes can be a daily worry for expats. This constant concern for personal safety can overshadow the otherwise beautiful experiences Mexico has to offer. Then there's the issue of cleanliness. While many parts of Mexico are clean and well kept, some areas can struggle with sanitation. This can be particularly jarring for newcomers who aren't used to these conditions. It's not uncommon to hear about trash in the streets and issues with water quality, which can be quite a shock for those used to stricter sanitation standards. Healthcare is another area where some retirees face difficulties. While Mexico does have good healthcare facilities, especially in larger cities, the quality and availability can vary greatly depending on where you are. This can be a concern for older expats who may have more frequent health needs. Navigating the healthcare system, dealing with insurance, and facing potential language barriers can add layers of stress. Language can also be a significant barrier. While many Mexicans speak some English, especially in tourist areas, it's not as widespread in more local, everyday settings. This can make everyday tasks like shopping, banking, and socializing more challenging. For retirees, especially those who may not be inclined to learn a new language, this can lead to feelings of isolation and frustration. Moreover, the cultural differences can be a double-edged sword. While Mexico's rich culture is a draw for many, it can also lead to misunderstandings and frustrations. Adjusting to a different pace of life, different customs and social norms can be harder than expected. On number 2, we have Belarus. Belarus might not be the first place that comes to mind when considering retirement destinations, but for some adventurous souls, its low cost of living and unique culture seem appealing. However, many expats, especially from the US, find themselves regretting their decision to move here for several reasons. One major issue is the feeling of being unwelcome. Belarus has a very homogeneous society, and foreigners often find it difficult to integrate. Many expats report feeling isolated and out of place, as the locals can be quite reserved and wary of outsiders. This lack of social acceptance can lead to a lonely and unfulfilling experience. The cultural differences also pose significant challenges. The way of life in Belarus can be vastly different from what American retirees are used to. For instance, the bureaucratic processes can be frustratingly slow and complicated, which can make simple tasks like getting a residence permit or accessing certain services a real headache. Moreover, the language barrier is substantial, as not many Belarusians speak English. This can make daily interactions, from grocery shopping to medical visits, incredibly challenging and stressful. The political climate in Belarus is another source of concern. The country has a reputation for political instability and a lack of democratic freedoms. This can be unsettling for expats who are accustomed to a more open and free society. The restrictive environment, combined with the potential for political unrest, can make it hard for retirees to feel secure and at ease. Additionally, the harsh weather conditions can be quite a shock. Belarus experiences long, cold winters with short days and limited sunlight. This can be tough for retirees who are used to milder climates and can lead to seasonal depression and a general decline in quality of life. Healthcare is another significant concern. While Belarus does have a healthcare system in place, it is not up to the standards that many expats might expect. The quality of care can vary greatly, and there can be issues with availability and access to necessary treatments. This can be a major worry for retirees who may have ongoing health needs. Finally, topping our list at number 1, we have Vietnam. While Vietnam might be famous for its stunning landscapes, rich history, and mouth-watering cuisine, many expats and retirees, especially from America, find themselves facing significant challenges that lead to regret. One of the primary concerns is safety and crime. Petty theft, scams, and even more serious crimes can be a common occurrence in some areas. For retirees, the constant vigilance required to protect themselves and their belongings can be exhausting and detract from the overall experience of living in such a beautiful country. Health and hygiene are also major issues. The standards for food safety and cleanliness in Vietnam can vary widely, and it's not uncommon to hear about cases of foodborne illnesses among expats. For retirees who might have a weaker immune system or specific health needs, this can be particularly worrying. Additionally, the healthcare system, while improving, still lacks the quality and consistency found in many Western countries. Access to high-quality medical care can be limited, and language barriers can complicate medical treatment and emergencies. The language barrier itself is another significant hurdle. Vietnamese is a challenging language for English speakers to learn, and outside of major tourist areas, English is not widely spoken. This can make everyday tasks like shopping, banking, and even socializing very difficult. The inability to communicate effectively can lead to feelings of isolation and frustration. Cultural differences can also be a double-edged sword. While the culture in Vietnam is fascinating and offers a rich experience, it can also be very different from what American retirees are used to. Adjusting to different social norms, traditions, and ways of life can be challenging. For instance, the hustle and bustle of Vietnamese cities, the traffic chaos, and the fast-paced lifestyle can be overwhelming for retirees seeking a more relaxed and peaceful retirement. Furthermore, Vietnam's bureaucracy can be quite complex and frustrating to navigate. Getting visas, work permits, or residency permits can be a lengthy and confusing process, often requiring a lot of paperwork and visits to various government offices. This can be a significant source of stress for retirees who are hoping for a simpler, more carefree lifestyle. Finding a safe country doesn't mean your work is complete. These countries should also be affordable, so they don't break the bank. Click on the video showing on screen to discover the 10 cheapest English-speaking countries to live or retire in for under $300. Believe me, your search for finding a perfect and cheapest spot to live will be over. And again, that video might just change your whole perspective. See you there.